Good evening, everybody. My name is Ose. It's New Year's Day, and we're back driving trucks in Europe. And I'm just about to finish this load. Looks like I'm turning right at the lights ahead. Around this track. So after this morning's escapade, I've installed the 600 horsepower engine and four-wheel drive on the rear train. Whee! Squeak. And we're hauling this thing. Big giant crane. And delivery point is just up ahead. Lots of orange flashing lights everywhere. And off we go. Okay, where's the turn in? Just up ahead through the gates. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, you are kidding me. Ugh. There's nothing round here. Good grief. How the heck am I supposed to get this turned around and in there? Okay. Going overhead. Oh, not good. Really, really, really not good. Okay. Come in this way. Good grief. Okay, this is gonna be interesting, to say the least. Judging by the shadows, doesn't look like I'm about to hit anything. Wait. Oh, and we're about to hit the fence at the back. Okay. If I pull forward over there. Straighten the truck up. Then take it straight back. Problem is we've got a steerable rear axle on this thing. We are gonna hit the crap there. Okay. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, day wasn't too bad. However, this could go better. Ugh. How you doing, Magnum? Okay. Try and avoid hitting the fence, because that's not a good thing to do. The right way. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay. Very, very carefully. Keep the truck straight and don't hit the fence. Oh. Okay. And we are... yeah, out of there. This is just a horrible place to park this trailer. At least it's not articulated, because that would make it very interesting. So which way do I want to turn? That way. Not so much. Now some more. Go. This might just work. Oh, thank you very much. We had to get it behind those metal beams, and there is pretty much nowhere to turn around in this area. Achievement. Well, parking achievement. Yeah, just a bit. Okay. Another one bites the dust. Pecs if possible. Budapest, 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 Budapest. Pecs, coconut oil. Canned beef. Coconut oil or canned beef? Coconut oil, more valuable because it's heavier. And we can turn all those crazy blinking lights off. Yay. No more being a Christmas tree. Gauge first gear. And drive. I guess he got the easy drop-off point. But seriously, this is the yard. I would have had to, in theory, reverse through this gate, reverse all the way round to get that in. Straightforward like. Bounce. Bounce. So, truck's now got both axles are driving. I've got 600 horsepower engine, and we have chrome mirrors. Ooh. Lots of shiny, and a chrome mirror up there. That one doesn't come chrome though. So, and we got the flashing blinky lights on the top, which we qualified for a couple of levels ago. And I can't see the lights from there. So truck's better capable of heavy haulage. Now I can't see the lights again. Ugh. This is all sorts of awkward stuff. And there's our coconut oil. Bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Beep. Okay. Check the map. We'll do a sightseeing tour of the town, which oh, that's going to be horrible. I will do that. I will do that. And we'll probably end up going around that way. Okay, it wants me to go there first. There we go. We'll try that. Good grief, explored less than 10%. That's the thing. Europe is a lot bigger than America. Hello, JWoww, how you doing? Ah, yes. Engage first gear. Oh, don't you dare. I'm going through those lights. And Happy New Year. Oh, there's the red truck that was parked in our drop-off point. Eep. So I believe this week we're doing ATS multiplayer on Thursday. Which is why I'm running around ETS at the moment, because my truck doesn't have to be somewhere specific. Oh, come on, let me go. Too far forwards, yeah. Not even far forwards enough. However, having driven in France, this layout of traffic signals is really nice because you can see the high level one from behind the vehicle in front, and you can see this side one from the driver's seat when you pull up. And unlike some places you go where the traffic signals are on your side, yeah, effectively on your side of the street, but there's really no way you can see what's going on. Oh, well, that's a Renault truck. Whoa. Okay. I'll go up this way then. Number of times I pull up to a set of lights, say like this one, and I'm too close to see the light above me. Whoa, 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 whoa! Ugh, blew the light anyway. Okay, and many times the sun is shining in your eyes if you try and peer up at it, but just having one on the pole at eye level means you don't have to strain, you don't get blinded at certain times of the day. So normally you just look out there and say, oh look, the light's changed. And it's very, very convenient. Something the Europeans do quite well. America, not so much. Okay, we can stop here. Quick, get in the world map and kill the waypoint. We did that one. We just need to do that one, which is going to involve going around there. Drive. Oh, light's changed, and it's probably changed red already, and I'm going to get a red light ticket. No, that's cool. Okay, right turn here. There's the job centre. Town is done. Oh, good. All map. Kill the waypoint. Escape. Drive. And another town toured and checked off the list. And the drop-off point for this load will be the end of Hungary. I'm done here. On the US map, I think I now have 4 points of call for the California, 1 point of call in Nevada, and then all of New Mexico. And I just bought a garage in Flagstaff so that I can quick jump down there and complete the tour of New Mexico. Then I will have visited every city in that game. We got a long way to go here. And I don't have any extra garages yet. Just Warsaw. Whoa, what happened there? Lights came on. Something these games still have to get right is their lighting gradient as day turns to night. Same with Farm Sim. It's light, then it's distinctly not so light, then it's more not so light, as opposed to, there aren't the steps of light change that that you would see in real life. It's not a noticeable. Whoa, what's everybody doing? Oh, good grief, no you don't. Good grief. And there's a dude standing in the road and I'm doing 70 miles an hour in a 50. Second time today I've come around a corner and the white light's flashing on the railroad crossing. Which is another good thing about Europe. The light, it doesn't start flashing red and the barriers come down. Like Farm Sim. You've got a little bit of a warning that, okay, there's a train coming and you really, really should consider slowing down. And then the red lights start flashing and it's sort of, now you need to stop. Unless you're on the crossing, and then the barriers come down, by which time you should be clear. Problem is, I had it in this game where I was in an industrial estate and speed limits 50 kilometers an hour, and I had to cross a single railroad line, and I'd literally, the cab was level with the barrier and I'm crawling along and the light starts flashing. And the barrier comes down on the back end of the trailer. The second barrier comes down on the back end of the trailer. And then the train hits the trailer and the truck and the trailer go up in the air and the load is a complete write-off. It's sort of, well, thank you for destroying my... Okay. I'm not seeing anything. Okay. Which means I'll go. And the light's still flashing. Okay, I don't know what that's all about then. If it's not an advanced warning that the red lights are about to start, I don't know what it is. 137 kilometers to destination. We're good for diesel. Oh, whoops, wrong way. okay. Yeah, I don't think I get into... well, it depends how you're talking about fixing speakers. If it's just replacing bits, that's one thing. If it's resoldering everything so that what you have works again, I don't get that low down. I'll replace broken parts. I won't generally fix broken parts. That's usually a bit beyond me. Got a couple of model railway locomotives where one of the axles on both of them is broken, so the wheels don't retain a relative position, which causes the coupling rods to lock up, and then the train falls over. Now, I'm really not at the skill level where I'm going to start taking wheels off and replacing axles, but sure, I'll get a new... I could get a new wheel set, except the problem is there's a flaw in the design, so there's a flaw in the design, so I would prefer to get a brand new chassis, and that's a thing and a half. But one of the train manufacturers is releasing or re-releasing the model, so I may have the option to replace the existing chassis with a brand new one. Although I'll have to be rather tricky about it, because obviously they're probably not gonna sell me just the chassis. Oh, come on, truck. Why don't you want to go up the hill? Am I not in gear? Yes. So I may buy two models, brand new ones, and take both the working chassis off and put them on the old locomotive models. Just so that they're two different locomotives, two different numbers, as opposed to both the same. Don't want to drift into that lane, it's disappearing. Oh, this looks okay. That's kind of my problem at the moment. We don't have a room for it. This room will eventually become one, but currently it's a junk room with boxes and stuff all over the place. So it's a kind of a long-term project. Make some cabinets so that we can put the junk in the cabinets, and then I can put model railway on top of the cabinets. And then the hobby gets expensive because you start collecting stuff. Rolling stock, locomotives, tracks kind of expensive. The electronics to run it is incredibly expensive. You can do scenery fairly cheaply if you're good at it. I'm not necessarily an expert at it. I'm the sort of person you'd look at a model railway and say that was a model. there are some people out there that if you take a close-up photo of their model, you would look at it and say, is that real or is that a model? Because their skills are that good. Why am I breaking the speed limit when I told my cruise control to slow down? There we go. And the speed limit's gone up to 80. Great. Oh, we're close to the end. Yay. Hungary is nearly complete. I have quite a lot of model train kit. My grandfather used to collect and had his own model railway in the back end of the garage. And he died many, many years ago, and I inherited the vast majority of it. Trouble is the vast majority of it has been in storage and doesn't run anymore. And also would not run on modern day electronic control systems. So while I took some of the locomotives out of storage, what's the word for it? Not restored, but got them running again. And then put them back into storage and then moved to America, so we've got to pull them out of storage and ship them over here sometime. The motors and electrics inside most of them will need to be heavily overhauled in order to work with the modern day computer control system. But it's something I can probably take a look at sometime one day, maybe before I retire. Although who knows. So yeah, to see the traffic signals above your head, you kind of have to lean forward and look up, and if it's sun's above your head, you can't see the lights. Having that little one on the side, that's what I was saying, is very, very handy. I don't need hands on there. We need to turn left into here. And there's our parking spot. Probably got a little bit more room in front of me. Oh, I got a lot more room in front of me. Weep. Okay. Factory door to reverse up to. Oh, we good. One of my better parking attempts. Ding. Ding, 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 ding. Yay, yay. Okay, let's do a tour of the town before we put a trailer on the back. Not much here, just that. Keep doing that. Drive. There we go. Nobody's in town. Pretty sure nobody's in town. Nobody's in town. So what time we got? 6 o'clock. I'm guessing this is just a job centre. .608, and Tuesday we usually start at 9 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, because Tuesday is normally Weight Watchers weigh-in day, but Weight Watchers is closed today. So, no weigh-in. Job centre, yay, hi. And lights. So I might drive till I'm bored and then turn to Farm Sim a bit later, but a bit earlier than normal schedule would call for. Okay, this should be the local garage. Stop there. I will do that. Okay, Slovakia's done, Hungary's done, Austria, Klagenfurt, Salzburg, and Innsbruck. Austria. Oop. Vienna. Been there, done that. Yep. Klagenfurt. Salt and spices. That's it to Klagenfurt. Salzburg. Used packagings. It's up there. And we could go to Munich. Okay, looks like we're going to do salt and spices. So you're just interested in model trains in general, or specific? Drive straight back first. Clear the barrels, then spin it. There we go. Whoa. I want to turn all the way around. Steam or diesel or electric? Electric was never something I really got into. Mostly steam, specifically Great Western, UK. Typically around the 1920s, 1940s. Because that's what my grandfather was into. Oh, electric model, yeah. No, I was thinking of prototypically what are you talking old steam or modern electric type of thing? As I said, my interests are sort of 1920 to 1940, 45 UK Western. Obviously, as far as models are concerned, they're all electric. Because that's how they work, especially for the scale I'm interested in. And I don't have the patience to fire up a model steam locomotive. Also, large models are very expensive. Okay, yeah. We need that, we need that, we need to get back in the cab. I'm guessing that's his lights and not mine. Oh. They were going in there. That's good. Yep, not my lights blinking. But then while my main interest, is sort of 1920s to 1940s steam, I do have a soft spot for 1970s to early 80s British Rail diesel, because that's what I used to ride when I was a kid. And most of those don't exist anymore. You know, The real life versions have been retired, and most of them now live on heritage railways alongside steam locomotives. So everything I grew up with has kind of been retired. But I prefer to see a steam locomotive than a diesel. Just because. A bit more character. Oh, is someone sitting on my tail? Yes. I'm rolling backwards. Somewhat of a problem on the multiplayer server is people who are running light have far more agility than you do with a load. And a lot of them don't give a rat's about the speed limits or the traffic signals, and yeah, I need to get my load out of town. And if you're racing around town at 80 miles an hour, yes, I'm probably going to get in your way. I'm going way too fast here. And it looks like we've got a turn coming up anyway. There's a fair number of back when I was a kid, most people who did model railways modelled an era of mainline operation or branch line operation. So if you wanted to model sort of the end of the steam era, the beginning of the diesel era, they would model 1950s, 1960s. If they wanted to model steam, obviously they'd be pre-1950, and if they wanted to model modern era, they would be post-1970. But nowadays people will say, well, rather than model a specific region and era of locomotives, I have interest in everything, so I'll model a heritage railway, and they'll mix steam and diesel alongside each other, and they may have one modern era locomotive that pulls up to a separate platform to drop passengers off to visit the heritage railway, which kind of a clever idea, because you're not restricted in what you want to, what you buy, what you model. Some people will model modern era but have a steam locomotive or two, which is they run as sort of summer steam specials when they feel like it. So because that's a thing in England. Some very old steam locomotives have mainline running licenses, which allows them to haul special trains on British Main Line. Then it all has to be highly scheduled, because modern era locomotives have an average speed of sort of 80 plus miles an hour, and steam locomotives are restricted to less than 70 miles an hour. So if you want to fit one in the timetable, there's only certain points of the year that, or certain points of the year and day where you can actually run one on certain sections of line. When I was a kid, there were no steam locomotives with mainline running licenses. So if you went on a sort of a special outing, you'd catch a modern train down to typically Devon and Cornwall, where there were a couple of heritage lines, and the train would pull up in a freight yard, and a steam locomotive would come off the heritage line and pick the train up and take it for an excursion down the heritage line and back, deposit the passenger cars back in the freight yard, and the modern era diesel would haul you back to London. It was a day out, and something my grandfather and grandmother enjoyed doing, so they'd take me along with them. How are we doing? Still 10 minutes of driving to do on this one. Graz already. Took a heavy haul load to Graz this morning. A big excavator bucket. It's like 10 foot wider than the truck, the low loader it's on. And I discovered that, yeah, you're not allowed to do those at multiplayer, so it boots you off the server when you select the job. Oops, 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 oops. Now, I've been getting some news feeds on my Facebook page concerning, I think there are 2 locomotives in America currently being renovated, and one's under its own steam now and trialing out to make sure it works. There's a lot of work goes into making one of those things run. Like, I think the most modern steam locomotive in the world is the Tornado in the UK, and it was built in, I believe, 2008, using all of the old design templates. from back in the 40s. And the only difference was they, rather than manually casting everything, they used advanced computer assembly techniques. So the entire locomotive was very precisely balanced, so much so that, as far as I can gather, they were able to push the locomotive without manual aid, or mechanical aid, because all the wheels were so carefully balanced and what have you. Well, of course, as soon as they light a fire in it and start it running, the whole thing starts shaking around, and it's no longer as finely balanced as it was when it was assembled. Because steam locomotives don't run that smoothly. They're, in a way, the whole manual assembly thing, and brute force and ignorance in some ways, meant they needed a lot of maintenance, and it took hours to get one started in the morning. But they were quite resilient, and something that was almost assembled to computer tolerance, or to digital tolerances, and is relied on to run on those digital tolerances, it ain't gonna last long. So the locomotive's doing well. It's just that they've had to wing it in some ways, because it's not running how the computer predicted it would, because old technology. I think we're in Austria. And having that locomotive built and completed now has given the incentive for other preservation groups to also assemble new locomotives, although for the most part a lot of them are using spare parts from multiple locomotives to build one new one, as opposed to casting and fashioning all of the parts needed for an absolutely 100% brand new locomotive. There's less imperative to build new sort of heritage diesel locomotives, because by the time, when the steam locomotives were retired, there were one or two that were destined for museums or were purchased by heritage societies that wanted to keep a running example of one. But 99% of them were sent down to the scrapyard and cut up. And heritage societies used to look at it and say, oh, we want to recover. We don't have an example of this particular model. And they would go to the scrapyards and attempt to buy parts in order to rescue one, or buy multiple parts so they could build a rescue model. Now, by the time it came to retire all of the sort of 1970s, 1980s traction, the railway company at the time kind of said, well, We understand that people are going to want to have examples of these in the future, so we'll check around and try and sell them before we send them off to scrap, because obviously they can sell them for more than they can scrap them. And so there are far more examples of modern, or at least recent era, diesel mechanical traction available than there were old steam locomotives. What's going on here? Okay, stuff. Most of them don't. I mean, I live in Michigan. Obviously, we've got a number down at the Ford Museum, a few of which run, at least two of which run. I don't know how genuine historical they are, or whether they are replicas of older models. But the museum itself has a few locomotives on static display. But then there are old train stations dotted around Michigan, which are no longer part of the Amtrak network, which have been preserved and restored and turned into museums, some of which have static display locomotives and rolling stock. Down in Ohio, there's a cafe that has a whole line of about 4 or 5 passenger cars all sat alongside, and that's their sort of draw for people to come visit, apart from the food, and the food's not bad. Since it's just down the road from where my in-laws live, we tend to go eat there when we go down to visit. And I need a drink, so we'll drive off the road. Looks like something unusual's going on down to the right there. I don't have time to look over without crashing into stuff, though. Darn. You can always post it on Arthur's Facebook page. He accepts stuff like, pictures like that are okay. Okay. Drive time about 2.5 more minutes. Arthur Chapman uploaded a new YouTube video. So part of my messing around, I've actually figured out how to get the list of folks on Discord in the channel you're currently sitting in to appear on the screen while I'm playing a game. And it works in all the games I play. So long as I turn it on, I have to turn it on for each game. So I've currently got it active for World of Warships, ATS, ETS2 and Farm Sim 19. Not Farm Sim 17 because there's not much multiplayer on that going on anymore. Oops. Klagenfurt, I think that's where we're going. So I can see who's on and who's talking, but it doesn't duplicate across through OBS, so people who are watching the stream can't see what I see. What I'm trying to figure out is how to... I'm not so fussed about having that that list appear on the stream, because I don't know that it's necessary for people to see who's on the chat channel. They can hear you talking, type of thing. It's helpful for me because I'm not necessarily able to identify who's saying what all the time, and to have it on the screen so I can see it highlight the name who's talking is quite useful. What I really want was what is it, the Twitch chat to appear on my screen so I can see it like it appears on Arthur's YouTubes. That's going across the dirt. But as I've tried asking Arthur about it, but Arthur's kind of said, well, he has to look across to the other screen to see who's chatting on Twitch as well. It doesn't appear on his screen. It feeds through OBS to the stream, so people on the stream can see what people are talking about, which I believe is quite helpful, because I'm kind of conscious when somebody asks a question on Twitch, and I just answer yes or no. Whoever comes to watch the video on YouTube later has absolutely no idea why I just said yes or no. It's sort of, yeah. So at least, yeah, I'm trying to train myself that if someone asks a question, to answer the question as a sentence, so that the question can be inferred from what I say in the answer, if you understand. I must admit, for the most part, yes, I don't mess with Twitch or anything too much, and I probably should. The other thing I should probably do is try and find someone to do me some what are they called, emotes, because now I've made Twitch affiliate. People who subscribe can use emotes, except I don't have any, and I'm not artistic dude, so I'm not really any good at doing that sort of thing either. It's a sort of, I know what I like, but I can't reproduce it because I'm crap. What's the thing there? Okay. There's my wallet and my compass. And this should be the entrance, I guess. Whoa. I think we made it. Looks like we made it. Let's get this thing in reverse. Let's see if we can improve on our last attempt. Whoa. too early. However, we're not reversing it up to a gate again. We might get lucky. Oh, we got lucky. I kind of mess with computers all day. Well, at least computer programming all day. So coming home in the evening and doing more computer programming stuff isn't the sort of thing I like to relax to. Playing computer games, yeah, I'll do that for relaxation. Or frustration sometimes. So, where to next? We are here, and we can go to Salzburg or Innsbruck. Graz. Lots of stuff going there. All looks the same colour and boring stuff. Bratislava, Brno, Venice, Bex, Budapest. I think we're out of places in Austria, Czech Republic. Oh, Brno, yeah, we had one there. That's Brno. Oh, look, pipes. That's something different. Yeah, I used to. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I was building computers. I used to assemble computers, but because I knew people who built computers. Oh. Okay, we are out of here and turn left. But that was before I started working with computers, and yeah, the last thing I want to do is get home from working on computers all day and assemble them. Although, if when I ever get round to working on a model railway, there will be computing involved, and I will probably build, maybe not electronic switching, but I will build electric switching. Sort of thing where I can build one, or I can push one switch and cause multiple events to happen. Oh, there's my load of pipes. Oh, look, there's a boat next to it. Darn. Missed out on the boat. Okay, 6:45. F2, and we should be all set to go. Let's take our pipes out. The other thing I like about some European countries, they have that green flashing light to let you know it's about to not be green anymore. Trouble is, most of the YouTube videos I've seen that happening on, it's been usually followed by an accident, because it appears a lot of people don't think red means stop. Or if it's just changed red, I've still got 20 seconds to drive through the junction without wrecking. It's sort of, yeah, no, not so much. Okay, where are we? We are here. Can I go straight down? Oh, the light's about to change. Yes. Well, I know enough electrical theory on wiring buttons and wires to enable motors or whatever to happen, you know, to do their thing. We visited the job centre. Now, why do you want me to go that way? Oh, because you do want me to go that way. Okay. Because I need to go this way. Still nobody around. Also, remember someone was mentioning the oh crud, should have pulled in there, I think. Someone was mentioning building your own sort of computer control panel, where you can buy a little kit of switches and a USB control circuit. Basically, if you've got some limited probably carpentry skills, you could build yourself a control panel for something like Farm Sim or Truck Sim. Oh, nobody coming. Okay. Oh, this is the junction I completely blew through and then realised I needed to make a left turn, right turn. So I checked out those sort of, what's it, packets of switches and USB control circuits. Looks fairly easy. And maybe if my Cytec side panel ever fails again, well, no, I haven't had a side panel fail, I've had the steering wheel fail, but if the side panel ever fails, I may look into assembling my own control panel. breaking the speed limit again. There we go. I'll back out through all these tunnels. Oh, there's a gas station. Whoa. That was close. Okay. And 800 litres, that's a lot. Because it's a holiday week, I don't have to take the trash out till Friday. So before we take the trash out, we've got to break down a whole ton of cardboard boxes, throw them away. Don't know what the triangle is about, but stuff and things. Have my brights on. No. Stay at 80. Oh, 50. That's why it's all lit up. Hey. Yeah, the thing I like about the Cytec side panel is it's got a very small joystick, which you could, it's very easy to operate with just fingertip movement. I find it very comfortable with the FarmSim front loader equipment, because you can make very fine adjustments just by moving, thumb or finger. Whereas something like a Sidewinder or whatever, not so easy to control a front loader, I don't think. because it's a whole hand, almost whole hand arm movement as opposed to just a fine control with your fingers. Oh, don't do that. Come on, behave. There we go. So where are we going? It's still going straight. Kilometers. What's that? About 120 miles. It seems I do so much of my driving at night time on stream. But if I do my maths right, then in any given hour, it's what's it? 30 minutes of darkness, 30 minutes of daylight. I think. Rounding on 7 o'clock. I think what I'm going to do tonight is I'll drive until supper's ready and then take a quick break, have my supper, and then come back on Farm Sim 19. So I'll stick with short sort of 10, 15, 20 minute trips as opposed to trying to run a 3-hour marathon across to the UK or somewhere crazy like that. I also want to try and get another one of the $100,000 loan or 100,000 euro loans paid off. Raise a bit more cash and maybe before I take the jump back to Warsaw I'll buy a garage either north of Italy or towards Germany, France sort of location, so that I don't have to drive 2 hours just to get to a city that I haven't visited yet. I'll leave everything up by Warsaw and up to the Baltic states to do on the multiplayer weekend or multiplayer Thursdays. I haven't done much in the way of Farm Sim 19 this last week. I think the last Farm Sim I played was... oh no, tell a lie. Okay, I was going to say the last Farm Sim I played was Farm Sim 17 Norfolk Aberdeenshire on Saturday. But no, I played the After Arthur stream on Sunday. Potted around there doing stuff. I think I just missed my turn. I wasn't paying attention. Okay then. So GPS, let's figure this thing out. We're going the wrong way. Oh, okay, we have a new destination. So I played a couple of hours with the guys over the weekend. But most of this particular holiday has been warships or trucking. I did ATS. When did I do ATS? Monday morning, I think. And did Arizona to Oregon trip, which was kind of fun. And then, because I'm now back in Oregon at Portland, ready for Thursday, I'm racking up some miles on an ETS2. I've now got all my hazmat licenses unlocked, which gives me more options on jobs or freight contracts, whatever they are, and got a couple levels of fragile, a couple levels of valuable, so that I can pretty much haul any load at the moment except just-in-time load. And I've done the same with ATS as well. Okay, we are coming off here this time. Pay attention. What's his problem? Speed limit drops to 30 miles an hour again. And then you hit the bottom of the hill and it goes back up to 80 kilometers an hour, because they really like to burn diesel in Europe. Force the truck driver to slow down before he hits the bottom of the hill, so it takes him longer and harder to haul it back up. Oh, we're coming to Vienna. I've been here before. Oh, what is it with the speed limits around here? It's going to be a speed camera. Oh, while I have been to Vienna, I have not visited the dealership and the job centre. go around the houses. There's a Volvo dealer. You have discovered a truck dealer. Oh, Iveco truck dealer. Okay. The job centre's over on our left, so that's the direction we'll go. You have discovered a job centre. Yay. Oh. Okay, so we now just go around the houses and out of Vienna. I don't even recall where we're going. Oh, Bruno. Czechoslovakia, I believe. Good. Lovely timing. And I find when you're running with a group, you don't have the luxury of time to visit truck dealers and job centres. There's a big truck over there. And off we go again. 50 kilometres an hour. Oh, missed the lights. I'm not your friend, dude. If you're waiting for your friend to catch up, I'm not him. I didn't actually have to change. Well, I did have to change lane because we're turning left after the bridge. And let's climb. On the subject of FS17, I'm looking for, sorry, 19. I'm looking forward to the Rolling Hills map by DM Modding. Kind of looks kind of sort of prototypical American style of map. And so far he's got the map itself done. Basic building, so none of the doors or shutters work on the garages. But he said he's working on that right now. I think he said on his map they're kind of working, but he needs to get it done and working properly before he releases it to the public. And he's also going to add animal enclosures on some of the farms. So I think the modders are finding the animal placement assets difficult to incorporate into their own maps, so it's kind of easier to put their own building in a specific location on the map. And then some of them are considering the allowing you the ability to to sell them. If you don't want to have cow, they'll give you a cow enclosure that you have to buy the land for. But if you decide, well, I want that land, but I don't necessarily want cows on my map, you could then sell the cow enclosure to free up that piece of ground. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. Oh, we're nearly wherever it is we're going. That's good. Yeah. That means we should be coming to a border sometime about there. Nope. That's a gas station. There's a whole bunch of them. Dude, get on your side. We probably need to be slowing down around now. Since our turning's coming up. Going up to the lights. Okay. We have discovered a new location. Whoa, timing on these lights. Awesome. And I'm guessing, yep, there's our delivery point. So we're turning in here. That's a bit better. Okay. Oh, I want you to go that way. Where I can't see you. That's the problem. Oh, that is really nice. Okay. People. Okay, what do we want to do now? We want to drop the load off. Blink. How are we doing?
Ready.
About 150 short of the level up. What's in town? Oh, there's stuff over there. Okay. We can go there. Drive, go, and hazards off. I'm gonna guess this is a job centre. I could be wrong. Where are we going? Yep, it's a job centre. Speak. You have discovered a recruitment agency. You have discovered an hotel. Well, as I said, I will drive until it's supper time, and I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll come back with Farm Sim 19 a little bit later. How are we doing with the parking? A little bit further. Brilliant. And brake on, lights off, engine off. So, thank you for joining me this evening. I'll be back in probably about half an hour or so. In the meantime, have fun, go eat something. That's what I plan to do. I'm out for now. Take care.